Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Sunday, August 27th, 6 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. Tropical storm Idalia forecast as a Category 2 hurricane for Florida landfall this week. Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Keep calm. It's boom time. DeSantis is urging caution as Tropical Storm Idalia is going to slowly make its way into the eastern Gulf and rapidly strengthen into a hurricane. We've got a close eye on it. Here are the latest spaghetti models as of 1800 UTC. Most of them you can see are now agreeing on landfall right here, right near Tallahassee. So let's take a look at the key message for Tropical Storm Ida. Ida is forecast to become a hurricane over the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and there is an increasing risk of life-threatening storm surge and hurricane-force winds along portions of the west coast of Florida and the Florida Panhandle beginning as early as Tuesday. Although it's too soon to specify the exact location and magnitude of these impacts, residents in these areas should monitor updates to the forecast and follow any advice given by local officials. Storm surge and hurricane watches have been issued for portions of the west coast of Florida and the coast of the Florida Panhandle, and residents in these areas should monitor updates to the forecast and follow any advice given by locals. So here we have landfall happening Wednesday morning, with effects maybe starting as early as Thursday evening. And this is coming in as a Cat 2 hurricane here, just north of Tampa, between Tallahassee and Tampa. And this is going to bring torrential rains through Thursday for the Carolinas and Georgia. So let's take a look at what we should expect here. Here's Wednesday, moving into Thursday, and then the storm moves offshore. North Carolina looks like is going to be picking up the highest totals, up to 12 inches in some inland areas, 9 inches or so for South Carolina, and 8 inches, 5 to 6 at least for huge swaths of Georgia. So flash flooding concerns are going to be happening. So if you're in this region, not just on the coast and the Panhandle, all of these areas, typically it's the flooding that causes the most loss of life and damage. So take heed in those 3 states. Now, Idalia expected to be a hurricane early this week. Like we said, it's forecast to become a hurricane early this week in the eastern Gulf of Mexico with an increasing risk of life-threatening storm surge. You can see those hurricane warnings and watches already in effect. Hurricane force winds and scattered flash and urban flooding along or in portions of the west coast of Florida and the Florida Panhandle beginning as early as Tuesday. So folks in Florida should monitor Idalia and have a plan in place, which is a pretty good idea. Seismic update, no quakes of note. We do have a 5.0 in Japan and a 5.7 in Colombia. Some increasing activity here in Puerto Rico, but nothing other than that to mention. Worldwide volcano news update, not much going on. As far as volcanoes are concerned, we have normal activity at Mayon, Popo to 23,000. Mayon, no height there. We've got Sabancaya to 23, Ducono coming in with a puff, Fuego to 15, Sangay to 23,000, Raventador to 15,000, and here we can see Ubainas, which had a strong explosion earlier in the day, up to 4-kilometer ash column, but has been puffing to 20,000 feet on the regs. Pretty good shot there of Ubainas. Now on to space weather news. We had a long duration M flare 24 hours ago from an active region around the backside of the limb there. M is for mystery. Earth orbiting satellites detected an M1 class solar flare on August 26th. We're now sure what caused it. A sunspot that is behind the sun. So that is not going to be geo-effective. But the sunspot behind the east limb earlier this evening hurled a coronal mass ejection into space. Because the source location is situated behind the east limb, the coronal mass ejection will be directed away from the planet. And we can get a better look at this source within the next 2 or 3 days as that sunspot will turn around into view. And the CME itself did cause a short radio blackout, so there was that. and the global D layer absorption has since recovered. 3-day geomagnetic forecast is all quiet. Now, is this a climate emergency? These horrific weather events from long ago tell the true story. Let's take a look. And there you have it. It isn't a climate emergency, but it is an emergency of propaganda in the news, and it's becoming a huge problem. Disinformation is key, and we're teaching our children incorrect things, and that is bad news for the future of the world and America. And that's a boom to knowledge. Hope you got something out of the video. Please share this with like-minded people. We are shadow banned, and we need your help to grow. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. Give a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm, and be safe. We love you. And that is a boom. Crestone Energy.